Here we go. Okay, I think this is video 4, if I'm not mistaken. At the end of my coming out video, I promised you some videos, gave you some topics, and I've been struggling for a while since I did the coming out video. I wasn't sure what I had to offer. I wasn't sure of the point of view I could share, and then it kind of hit me. Um, the point of view is sort of a combined point of view, if you will, that of having been a gay young man, being a gay man today, being a parent who happens to be gay, and a parent who's raised 2 children, both in their mid-20s and both straight. But while I have not had children come out to me as a parent, I've had to do that as a parent to them. So I think there's some things I want to share with you, or I think things I can offer you. But I do first, before I do get on that kind of roll, is to thank all of you who've given me comments and emails about the coming out video. I really do appreciate it. It's tough putting yourself out there, and then when somebody acknowledges it and says, hey, wow, that really helped, that means a lot. It makes it all worthwhile. So, to the parents, if you have children who you think are GLBT, curious, if you have had a child come out to you, son or daughter, this is for you. And but before we get into that, I sort of want you to, if you will, maybe close your eyes as you're listening to me and think about the time that your child, your son or your daughter was born. And I'm sort of going to describe for you what I remember of when my daughter was born. And I think it's probably very typical, is the moment they're born and they come out of the womb, it's like you want to, and they're all wrapped up, you want to count, the arms, the legs, the fingers, the toes, the eyes, everything. And you're like ecstatic, especially everything's there and the doctor says they're healthy. And you hear that first sort of like cry. And this like sigh comes over, and I bet you're like a lot of us, and you say, thank you, God. And then you hold them for the first time. And that's really magical, because you hold them and you kind of like look down at them, and I'm sure if you're like me, you made promises and you're like, wow, you are the most incredibly beautiful being. I am going to so take care of you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to love you. I'm going to let you be happy, give you all the things maybe I didn't have. And it's just like a really magical moment. So now fast forward to today, excuse me. So today, or yesterday, or maybe tomorrow, your son or daughter has come out to you. And they've come to you and have said, gee, Dad, or Mom, or both, I think I'm gay, maybe a lesbian, I think I'm transgender, bisexual, or curious. First off, realize how much it took for them to get to this point. You ought to be so proud, so very proud that they were able to come to you, because a lot of kids can't go to their parents. You must have done something right along the line if they can come to you. But also realize they may have had a tough journey in getting here. They could have been teased, they could be fearful, they could be nervous, but they need help. They want your love and support. So when that moment comes and they say that to you, I want you to think back to that moment when you first held them and you made those promises. Because quite frankly, as a parent, I'm speaking to you, parent to parent, now's the time to pay up. Now's the time to pay forward those promises that you made the moment you saw them and held them. This is one of those times where they need you the most. So I kind of think there are 3 types of parents, if you will, when they have a child come out. There's the one type that is just very accepting, loving, unconditionally. It's like, great, I'm glad you're happy, wonderful, how can I help? Then there's the second kind, who's probably a little bit hesitant, is accepting, you didn't throw a fit, but you deep down inside you're wondering, what am I going to do? And you're a little nervous. And then there's the third kind, which I hope is in the minority, who says, oh no, God says this is wrong, and I can't accept this, I can't accept you. If you're going to be gay, you can't be my child. We're going to address that one at the end, because I need some help with that. So really the message for this video is all about parent sort of the second type. You listened, but you're still nervous. And you've got questions running in your mind, like, what am I going to tell Uncle Max? What am I going to tell his grandmother or grandfather? What am I going to tell Betty at the office? Her son's getting married next year, and I got to go to the shower, and I got to go tell her that my son wants to marry another man, or my daughter wants to marry another woman. Or you may be even nervous for them and scared because you see and you hear of these diseases. Or you fearful that they could be ridiculed. What kind of life will they have? I'm going to put a quick side bolt in here, if I may. If you have a moment, one of my most favorite movies is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Spencer Tracy. If you see it and it's out there on a DVD or Netflix on YouTube, and if I'm going to search for it and try to find this one scene, it's at the very end, when the whole premise of the movie is Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn are this couple in San Francisco. They're a Caucasian couple, and I think this takes place in the mid to late 60s, falls in love with a black man. And he comes home from work, and all hell breaks loose, and she wants to get married right away. But his talk is all about the love that they have for each other as human beings. And he acknowledges that as a white woman and a black man at that point in time, they will have challenges. And why I offer that is, I keep going back to that scene and thinking that can be today, but instead of being black and white, it's just being gay or bisexual or transgender. So if you have a moment, go searching for that. And like I say, if I can find it, I'm going to put it on my site, my YouTube site. So I digressed, I apologize. But what your child needs now is that love. And you may be concerned, and that's fine. But I've got something I want to ask you, or actually some advice, and that is 3 words: dialogue, dialogue, dialogue. And in my mind, dialogue means talk and listen, not preach, not yell, but talk and listen. May be tough. This is probably going to be one of the more challenging parts of being a parent. And, being gay isn't all that bad. There are wonderful gay doctors and lawyers. Your child can grow up and have a wonderful family. There are wonderful gay families out there. 2 men that have incredible children and families, and 2 women and transgender couples. I mean, it's out there. It's not as prevalent as it needs to be. And, we're working on that, but it's out there. And you may even be a little nervous and scared and like, oh my gosh, is, my son going to be, parading around like I see on TV or whatever. And, to some degree, I want to say shame on the networks and television and all, because they've done a really poor part in sort of pictorializing, I guess you would say, our community. It's like when they cover a gay pride parade, they don't cover the families marching down the street, the 2 men walking down with their 3 children. They want to cover the drag queens or the guys with the leather Speedos on the float or whatever. I mean, it's really ridiculous, but it's understandable, because that's all you've been given probably as examples of what the gay community is. But we're a lot more. Like I said, we're doctors, lawyers, plumbers, carpenters, teachers. We're everything. We're workers, we're secretaries, we're bosses, we're sons, we're daughters, we're nephews, all of that, who happen to be gay. So it's okay to question. It's okay to be confused. It's okay not to understand and to be nervous. But just have that dialogue with your child. Just let them know that's how you're feeling. Because maybe they're feeling the same way. My God, they don't want to grow up in a world where they're going to be bullied. I would love to be able to go to a restaurant with my partner and sit across the table and hold his hand without fear of somebody making a remark or being ridiculed. I mean, why would anybody choose that? But that's who we are. So they're going to need your help, especially if they're younger. If they're teenagers, early 20s, this is when they're going to need you the most. So be there for them. Help them through this process. And, it's okay to do that. Really what they need, I sort of see three things once a child comes out. And I remember with my children, when I came out to them and to friends, there were three things. I think of them as love, acceptance, and agreement. I want your love, still want your love, because 3 minutes ago before I told you I was gay, I had it, so I still want it. The second thing is acceptance. I want you to accept me for me. That's it, period. I'm still your son or your daughter, co-worker, whatever. Accept me. It took me a long time to get to the point where I have to accept me or was able to accept me. And the third is agreement. And people may disagree with me, but this is my point of view, is that you don't have to agree with our lifestyle. You don't have to agree with your daughter or your son's lifestyle. And I think that's the part where you can be nervous and flexible and understand. So you may believe, and your beliefs may not agree with that, but it shouldn't change the fact that you still love and accept your child. Then draw the line and say, I need time on the agreement part. To me, that's fine. They need the love and the acceptance. That's our role as parents, I believe. The moment that child was conceived and then born, we had a duty given us. And it's unfortunate some parents have sort of shrugged that duty off, and that's not right. So it's okay. Put your arms around them, because you know what? They've had a tough time getting there. And I can remember coming out, and the thing that meant the most is when people would put their arms around me and just tell me it's okay, because so often we're told it's not. That's all you need to do, and you will have done your job. Because I can promise you, you'd rather have that conversation with them than you would with them at their grave, because they couldn't deal with it, or they couldn't tell you about it. Talk to any parent, and I bet you would agree with me. So, good luck. There are resources out there. PFLAG is fantastic. Do that. They know much more about it than me. I just wanted to give you one point of view. The last one is the parents who, if you believe in the name of God that your son or daughter is wrong, you can't accept it, you can't love them anymore, they can't be with you, whatever that is. I'm sorry for you, but I'm going to put a website at the end of this, and it'll be on the YouTube site, and I need you to go there, because this woman has done some fantastic things with research and all that. She's much more knowledgeable about this. I can't answer your questions. I can't challenge your beliefs like she can. So I'm going to ask you, for the sake of your son or your daughter, go to this website, take 20, 30 minutes and listen to her video. Hopefully it'll open up some dialogue between you and your child. Because again, the same thing I said earlier, I'll say to you. When you conceived that child, you took on responsibility. And I think it's time that we all, as parents, accept that and make that responsibility a reality. So with that, as I said, there'll be things in scrolling the website. And again, if you need help, there's organizations out there. Please get help. Help your child, okay? I don't want to read about any more statistics. Thanks.